So
How's your week been, Paul?
hellish. How about the hell just fell behind? Oh, the remote control. I said hellish, and the remote control goes. It just
The
did
remote,
a.
the
It
remote
just did a
control says
Wonder
you better
Woman off.
believe it is.
It just did a Wonder Woman off the couch. It just yeeted. No, my week's been good actually. I can't complain. Lots of good things happening. My work has picked up just a teensy eensy little bit, just a little bit, and that's really good. Everybody I come encounter with is seems to be in a really good mood, and I take that as a win.
I have just been working and working, so
Excuse me.
not a whole lot new there. But I I do have a tease for what's coming up on the show. Just
Yeah.
just a little tease here.
Oh, what you got? Superman does Wonder Woman.
No, they saw it. We'll be talking about that
could
later.
you could you imagine?
I will be discussing that. I have not had time to read the backstories in it, but I have read the Superman Spider Man crossover, so I'll be discussing it a little bit later. But and then this weekend, Hickory is having a Comic Con in Brookford Community Building. You know where we saw Heather's the musical.
Oh,
So
really? I didn't know that.
yep, I'll be hopefully going to that this weekend. That is the plan, anyways.
What time is that? Maybe I might can sneak away from work for a little
I
bit.
believe it is 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. this Saturday.
Let me know when you're going to be there, and I'll see if I can't take a lunch and go there because I'm not that far from there.
But it all just depends on what's going on if I can get there and all that good stuff because I just don't know how things are going Saturday and that is my plan is to get there. So,
Okay.
but things don't always go as planned as we've seen like starting at 8:30 and it was like 8:45 almost before we started. So,
Yeah, things happen. So,
and speaking of things happening, my what a news week it's been since we were last on.
well, maybe a couple things just came up.
So first, let's talk about the big thing from over the weekend. The biggest one day protest, nonviolent protest in the history of the country.
What was
People
that? I didn't
people
catch it.
went out in droves for the No Canes March. Um, what's her name? A folk singer, Joni Mitchell, I believe it was, actually performed live at one of them. And in Minneapolis, the boss himself, Bruce Springsteen, sang "The Streets of Minneapolis" live at that
Oh,
No King.
I like that.
And
Excuse
I
me
don't
while
know
I
if
wear my
you're.
Halloween shirt.
Well, I'm wearing my monkeys that I'll sick on you if you do me wrong. So be careful. Watch yourself now. But
Better watch
anyway,
yourself.
the No Kings March is huge this time around. It's the third time it's been done, and this time had more people than they've had probably in the first two combined from the numbers I'm seeing. Just massive crowds gathered everywhere. San Francisco, the people lined or made a flag on the beach basically saying Trump must go. I can't remember exactly what they spelled out, but
Yeah,
people standing there spelled that out.
I thought that was actually AI, and then I started reading more into it, and I was like, "Oh no, this is real."
Well, when I first glanced at it, I thought they had written it in the sand.
Yeah,
And then I got to looking at it and I was like, no, that's people. And you could see the people moving into place to write
it's
it
like they
out.
were
So,
they were ants. There's so many of them.
but it was another big one. So yeah, that but then there's also the bad because on the same day, I don't know if you saw it, it's been all over threads. The military decided to do a flyby at Kid Rock's house.
Why?
And it was obviously planned because there's a camera behind Kid Rock as he's standing there beside his Statue of Liberty in his southern White House in front of the pool as the military helicopter gets here and just hovers. Well, military.com says there are now questions to be answered about that military flyby. And they definitely need to answer those questions. Because one, who planned this? Two, who appropriated the funds? Three, how many funds did they actually spend to do this? I see Brian has chimed in here. French lick, I'm too frightened to go to the ones in Evansville. Trump supporters show up with big guns. And Brian, I will tell you, I went to the ones in Morganton, which is a very, very red town, and
Very.
people drove by and they yell, but there was no actual violence. There were people protesting the protesters, but they were kept out of the main area, so you just had to walk by them to get into it. And then the second one was lining the street instead of actually in the court square. So people were, and I've got videos on my channel for both of them. And there was an immigrant speaker at the first one, and I've got her on my channel. And I cannot remember her name, which I hate that I can't remember it. And I don't know if it got caught in the video, but she spoke on her experience as an immigrant in the US. And I highly suggest people watch that video because her words were just amazing and need to be heard. But Brian, I
Yeah.
do think you would be all right going to the protests because they tend to be nonviolent. Because we know where the violence is, even though they want to blame the left, the violence is on the right.
He was actually telling me, texting me, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, that there was actually people there with guns.
Yeah, that's
So
what
I think that's
his
what,
message was saying there.
yeah.
But
So, what really disturbs me is there's some local papers here. There's Hickory Daily Record. I'm going to name them. Hickory Daily Record. There's the Charlotte Observer, just the main two. Um, so they posted them, and you would not believe the amount of comments of hate against it. All the Trumpers and the rednecks came out, and there's like, I didn't know we had kings, and I mean they were just attacking us left and right. I'm not. You can't be that blinded that the man is pure evil, and he's really. Anyone has ever really read Project 2025, and I try to get people to read it, they wouldn't. They thought it was nonsense, and they thought it was just hyperbole from the Democrats. But
hyperbole, hyperbole.
whatever. So it's all coming true, every bit of it. And you noticed what he did this past weekend. So the Senate passed the bill to fund TSA and several other agencies. It was a bipartisan bill. They went ahead and did it. They sent it over to the House, and Mike Johnson shot it down immediately because it was announced earlier that day that Trump was going to do a executive order to save TSA. So to make Trump look good, Butthole wouldn't bring it up to vote to make Trump look good. That's what happened there. So, and you can't tell me any different. That's what he did. So, yeah, here we are. At least they've reopened TSA now, and hopefully the 300 some employees that walked out and quit will come back. If not, maybe they can hire some people and maybe pay them a little teensy eensy more to get them to stay. To really, to get some really good TSA agents in there. Not saying that the TSA agents in there that they had was not doing their job. I'm just saying pay them more so they have more pride in their jobs, and maybe they can afford to skip a paycheck instead of living paycheck to paycheck, because the TSA positions are very extremely important to our country and how it runs. It is very important. So if you've ever flown, I mean, everyone's encountered TSA agents, and mine has been very nice to me. I've been very fortunate, but they're very extremely important of how this country runs.
And real quick, Brian did reply back. I went to the one in French Lick. I misread his comment somehow, either in my mind or as I read it, because he did say I was at the protest in French Lick, and somehow I thought he did not go, so he was actually there.
Um,
So
well, I don't know who lives in French Lick, but hey.
it doesn't sound like a lot of people there, though. I'll put it that way.
It sounds like it's questionable. I love that
And
name, French
before we
Lick.
get too far into the video, I want to do a shout out to the subscribers because we have grown in numbers again. We are now at 756 subscribers to my channel. So
What?
thank you to everybody who is subscribing. It does my heart so good to see that the channel is actually taking off now. And hopefully we can get some more viewers on our shows here because they don't know what fun they're missing. And speaking of the fun, make sure you're hitting that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you're subscribing to this channel so you can see more of our lunacy as we talk about facts. Because it's all facts here. We back everything up. As Paul's doing some kind of Egyptian dance or something over there. Do
I'm
you
voguing
remember
and
the
striking a
time,
pose here. I'm ready for my close up.
Mr. Daniel? That I was kind of thinking you were remembering the time
Remember the time. Oh
because
God,
I
I
knew
can't
you
wait for
would
the
get
Michael
that one.
movie. Have you seen the the popcorn buckets for the Michael movie?
No, I have not.
Oh my God. There's a fedora signed Michael on it. And you lift the top up and there's the bowl under it. We're gonna have that.
I did have to go to the AMC theater here because they had DC Comics popcorn tins, and one of them was Wonder Woman, so I had to go.
Hey, did
Just
you
like
notice they had the Michael ones out for sale yet?
they only had this was weeks ago when I went, and they had the DC tins was all that was up because I think it was even before Scream 7 came out that I went and got it.
Okay.
But I'd had to get it, and what surprised me was they had an option. You could get popcorn or you could get cookies in the tin. I opted
Shut
for the
up.
cookies because I'm not really big on popcorn. So that just another little hint for you when you get the popcorn tin, you may not have to get popcorn in it. Is that what you're eating there, Paul?
This is actually, I forget the name brand. I don't have it with me, but it's a pimento cheese popcorn. Oh my God. It's very good.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of
You could have
nibbling on it to keep my sugar levels up just a little bit because I've been
you
loaded
could
up.
have done Paul's taste test corner, and if you had the information.
Well,
But
I might be doing it on TikTok, but
well, there you go. So plug your TikTok real quick for them.
Paul INHKY. Follow me at TikTok. Join in the fun and the nonsense.
So there you go. You'll get more of Paul over there. No me. I'm on TikTok, but I'm not with Paul on there. But you can get Paul at his little TikTok channel there. But back to the news. Did
Actually,
you see?
I can go live now on TikTok. I didn't know that, but I can.
I can too. I just haven't done it.
I haven't. I don't have the guts to do it.
I've done a few food reviews that I've put on both YouTube and TikTok, the same video, because I record them and then post them. But and one thing I've noticed is when I post it to TikTok, it enhances the video so it's brighter. Like it downloads to my phone from TikTok. So there's two
Yeah.
videos there, and the TikTok one is always much brighter. So that's the one I usually post to YouTube after I post it to
Okay.
TikTok. Just
Cool.
a little tidbit for those people out there that are looking for ideas. But back to the bad news, which is kind of good news. After
Boo.
all the mass deportations that we've been going through and the Gestapo rummaging the country, terrorizing people, killing people, Trump is now turning to migrant workers to make up for the farm labor shortage that we already said was going to happen. And just to show my work,
Really?
it's from the New
I saw that.
Republic. Right there's the headline. Just so you know,
Oh
I'm not
yeah.
lying, and I apologize for it being backwards, but YouTube won't let me turn it around. So, who would have thought that deporting all the undocumented citizens would result in labor shortages in this country?
Yeah. Well,
Just could not have
I mean that's
imagined.
who runs. That's who we guys are working at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, and it has been proven that a lot of the staff at Mar-a-Lago is undocumented citizens,
So
and that also you have to remember that in Mar-a-Lago there were top secret documents just laid out anywhere with
in
undocumented
the
workers. And
in the
who
toilet.
might have gotten into those? The toilet, the stage, the office that was not locked.
Could you
Like,
imagine someone sitting there going on the toilet doing their business, going, "Hmm, top secret. Hmm. Let me take a picture of that with my cell phone. Click."
yeah, and
Yeah.
let's think back the 9/11 terrorist attack, because people keep talking about Mom Donnie and people forgot about 9/11. We didn't forget about 9/11. Mom Donnie was a
Mm-mm.
child when that happened, so he had nothing to do with it. Let's keep that in mind. But let's think about that. These were people who were in this country working regular jobs, going about regular lives, waiting for the moment to attack the country.
Those are
What's to
called sleeper
say?
cells.
What's to say that people Trump hired did not do the same thing, getting this top secret information? Because, granted, they probably didn't know if they went in there to be hired for that purpose. They probably didn't know that there were going to be top secret documents all around the place that were easily to access, but they might have been hired on or put in there to try to find information, not knowing that it was going to be so easy. What?
Something just got texted over to me. Apparently, never mind. You don't want to know. And it
Okay.
popped up on the screen of my phone. And it's hilarious. I can't say
Okay.
what
Well,
it said.
I
So,
was like, I didn't say anything funny, and you're over there laughing.
no.
So,
It's like the blurb came down on my screen of my phone and it went away. And I was like, oh my God. Anyway, go ahead.
but yeah. So who knows who was working at Mar-a-Lago? We know there were undocumented citizens working there, but even then, there could have been documented citizens working there that were there for the same purpose, to find information on Trump. And he
Yeah.
just left top secret documents just lying around. And of course, his people defending, saying it was a lie. But they went out with boxes and boxes and boxes of top secret documents.
Yeah. And he also tried to say Biden did the same thing.
Biden
Whatever.
had like a folder in a locked garage. There is a difference. Like, it's
True.
still wrong. George W. Bush also had documents that were supposed to have been turned in, but they were behind lock and key. Trump's were in the open. That's the difference. That's why it's a crime. I'm not asking to
Right
go
next to,
after Bush. I'm not asking to go after Biden. They had them locked up. They
and they
also
were
didn't
right
fight the
next to
same
the
people.
toilet. They were right next to the toilet paper hangers in the
They were
bathroom.
everywhere, everywhere,
Even on a
underneath the
stage.
chandelier in
Weren't
the
they on a
bathroom.
stage?
They were on the
God, they
stage
was
in the
on a
ballroom.
just
They
throw it
were
around.
in his desk in his office, on the desk in the office that was not locked, from my understanding. So there
So
was it was the way they were handled, not the fact that he still had them, that was the issue. But people
okay, what
forget
got
that.
it next?
But that's all the political news that I pulled up to talk about, because we're gonna make it a happy show. Although I don't know how
Okay.
happy this story will be, because it's kind of odd, and that's why I pulled it up. But people who know me know I've watched wrestling for a long time. Know that's where I started hating Trump way back in the day at WrestleMania 4. As a kid, I saw through him. But do you remember the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant?
Oh my God, yes.
He's about to have a retirement match at the age of 83.
Uh, he's not older than dirt.
He's 83.
Is
The
he
article
even
says,
physically able?
I don't know. I saw him at WrestleCade and he was so emaciated looking, like just rail thin.
I remember when we saw him.
And so that
And that
worries
was
me.
year, and that was years ago because how long ago since we went to Wrestle Game?
It was before
That's
COVID.
been years. That was years ago. And wow.
So it at least
Uh
had to be 6.5 to 7 years ago at the
I'm
least.
gonna look it I'm gonna look him up. You said Boogie Woogie Man.
Yep.
I gotta
And
see what
Brian
he
is
looks
chiming in
like.
saying he's gonna break a hip. He might. He might break more than a hip,
Break a
but
hip, break a rib, break a leg, break
break his whole body. Because like I said, he is just thin. But the other
Boogie
thing it
Woogie.
says
Oh, of
is
course, it's
his
gonna go
last
Boogie Woogie.
match that he wrestled was September 23rd, 2023. So it hasn't been that long since he last wrestled. So apparently he can still go. And granted, it's scripted, so whoever he's working with will be helping him. But man, it's just he does not look like he's in the condition to be in the ring. At least the last time I saw him.
I'm seeing images.
But for those wanting to know, his final match will be on April 25th in Lancaster, South Carolina for NAWA Championship Wrestling, an event called Boogie's Last Dance.
Mm-mm.
So, and I've honestly tried watching some of the NAWA matches on YouTube, and they're just not good. Really not
Now, is that
good.
the same league where Rock and Roll's in and Midnight and
That
all
was the
them?
NWA, not the NAWA.
Well, I
But I
mean,
don't know.
they're currently still wrestling, aren't they? The
They
Midnight and
have
all them.
been. Ricky Morton's son was wrestling for NWA that's owned by Billy Corgan now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Robert Gibson's still wrestling. I know Ricky Morton wrestled with his son, and I can't remember what his son's name is right offhand, but I want to say Kenny, but I'm not positive on that. But
Oh no, they killed Kenny. Them bastards.
no, not that Kenny. And like I said, I don't even know if that's his actual name. But anyway, and
Well,
on the topic of wrestling, there have been um, some Hall of Fame introductions or inductions announced, and I really just cannot figure out this year's choices. We'll start off with the ones that I can actually give them the credit enough that they should be in there. Not sure that they should be in yet for all of them, but should be in there. You've got Stephanie McMahon, and we know why she's getting in there. She's married to the guy running it.
of course.
AJ Styles, who just retired. Again, AJ Styles has had a Hall of Fame worthy career. Not sure he's ready to go in just yet. The tag team Demolition, which I was never a fan. I know they had a huge impact in the WWF. They were, to me, they were the Road Warrior ripoffs, not the Powers of Pain, because Powers of Pain to me were put together in the storyline where the Road Warriors had chased off Ravishing Rick Rude, causing Paul Jones to lose his World Tag Team Champions. So he put these two behemoths together, Barbarian and Warlord, as the Powers of Pain to go after the Road Warriors for revenge. So that was the storyline, which makes sense to put Powers of Pain together. And to me, that's not a ripoff; it's a reason for doing it. But
I haven't heard the
Demolition
name
was
Rick
straight up
Rude.
ripoff. Do what?
I haven't heard the name Rick Rude in so long. That's why it. Oh my god.
And he was a great one. I loved Rick Rude. But then here's where you get to the iffy stuff. The celebrity induction, Dennis Rodman,
What the hell for?
because he was in WCW and did one of their matches there. Basically, the same reason as Donald Trump got put in, just to throw a celebrity in there and maybe get some people from somewhere else getting eyes on it. But they don't deserve a Hall of Fame induction for this. And then the legacy inductions, which they actually are announcing this year. And years past, they did not announce the legacy inductions, but Bad News Brown or Bad News Allen, depending on where he was, who has passed away, and Big Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid, Sid Justice, whichever name you knew Sid by, he is getting inducted as a legacy induction. And of course, he passed away last year. Sid Vicious, I would see putting in, but my problem with the announcing the legacy like this, like their regular inductions, is Ivan Koloff was quietly inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame as a legacy candidate after he passed, when there was a push for him to be put in the Hall of Fame while he was still alive. Ivan Koloff, a former world heavyweight champion defeating Bruno Sammartino, did not get in while he was alive.
While you've been talking about that, I knew I had to look up something about Dennis Rodman. And he's like shock. That's what he's known for is shock. Guess how much his net worth is?
50 million.
Try 500,000. He has pissed his money away.
Well, I guess Madonna didn't teach him much while they were together briefly.
Yep, $500,000. I read that article not too long ago, and he just pissed his money away. 14 years seasoned NBA player, 6'7". I mean, he's done so much. I mean, then he went into financial problems here, faces charges. He owed $860,000 in child support to his ex-wife. Uh, in his career, he earned $27 million in salary alone. He also had a small fortune of fines and suspensions. He kicked a ref in the groin in 1997. Rodman was fined $200,000 for that. It actually cost him $1 million a game to be out. Yeah. So how the mighty have fallen.
I don't know that I would ever consider him the mighty. He was a successful basketball player. I don't know that I would call him
He was
mighty.
very successful. But you know what I mean? 27 million and just pissed it away. I mean, whatever.
Yep, but that's all the wrestling news I had to talk about. I was just the Hall of Fame is pretty much a joke from the WWE, and everybody knows it because people who deserve to get in don't. People who don't deserve to get in do. Like Cyndi Lauper as a celebrity would be worthy of going in because she actually managed a women's heavyweight or women's world champion. So, it would make sense to put Cyndi Lauper in. So, no, let's put in Dennis Rodman, who teamed up with Hulk Hogan in WCW.
For like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't a long run. And Cyndi Lauper was in there for months. The whole rock and wrestling connection, it was a huge part. And without Cyndi Lauper, it would not have been what it was, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the whole Lou Albano smashing the gold record over her boyfriend manager's head. You had her managing Wendy Richter at WrestleMania. I mean, it was a very long period. She was on Piper's Pit. So
She was
Cyndi Lauper
well,
really
Lou
did
Albano was
make an
also
impact.
well, Lou Albano was also on her Girls Just Want to Have Fun video.
He was in more than that. He was in Girls. He was her dad in Girls Just Want to Have Fun. He was sweeping the floor, I believe, in time after time, either sweeping the floor or like walking through the restaurant. I can't remember exactly where he was. He was one of the ladies that were going after Cyndi Lauper in She Bop. So he kept appearing in her videos. He was in the Goonies Are Good Enough video with all the wrestlers.
Oh, speaking
So,
of, I saw the Goonies for the first time, and I cannot tell you when this past week. I just happened to catch it on television at the beginning. I thought I'm gonna watch this. I forgot how cute and good that movie was.
it's a
What?
great movie.
It
It is
is
a
a great
classic.
movie.
Not exactly the most family friendly film that's a family movie, but
No,
it's a great movie. But moving on, we've discussed how disgusted I am about the Paramount Warner Brothers merger. Well, it seems like Warner Brothers wanted to slap Paramount in the face because this is actually from the Warner Brothers Music Group website. Netflix and Warner Music Group formed creative partnership for documentaries on WMG's renowned artist and songwriter roster. That's right, not teaming with Paramount Plus. They're sending their music documentaries to Netflix after Netflix was not able to buy the company.
wow.
I'm telling you, to me, that seems like a slap in the face. But let's look at who has been on the Warner Brothers roster and who returned to it. I know Prince was on the Warner Brothers roster, and that's where the whole symbol thing came in because he couldn't do music as Prince on another label. So he did music as the symbol on another label while he finished his obligation to Warner. And
Sorry about
Madonna
that. It's
Madonna
allergy
left
season.
Warner Brothers and then came back. It's it's allergy season, Paul. You got to be taking your allergy pill.
I do, and I have, and it's. I'm sorry. As soon as I walk outside the house, I can feel the pollen on my lips. It's so disgusting. It's
Oh,
just awful.
it's definitely bad this year. There is
As
no
soon as
two
I
ways
come
about
in
it.
from as soon as I come in from outside, I take my clothes off, throw them in the washer, jump in the shower. I do. Take a quick rinse off, just get it off
I
of.
I don't spend a lot of time outside, so I'm just not an outdoors person, and especially not when it's all polleny.
So are we talking about movies right now?
Now, I've still got a few more because the one thing you pointed out, the TV shows that were canceled, I did see that NBC has renewed all of the Chicago shows, Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, and Chicago PD. Those are all coming back. But Glamour has, and I'm not going to go through everything, but Glamour has the TV shows that are canceled in 2026 so far. I did see that Watson on CBS has been canceled. Um, The Boys, I think, is in its final season this year. Um, I
Stephen
don't know.
Colbert.
Did we talk about it last time? The Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot did not happen. That they canceled it
Yeah, I
before it went
saw
into production.
Sarah Michelle Gellar's statement on TikTok.
And I wasn't a Buffy TV show fan, but I felt for the fans that wanted it. The Boys is going
I
in its
do. I
final
wanted to
season.
see it. I wanted to see it really bad.
CBS has also canceled DMV, of course, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, The Neighborhood, and Watson. The CW is canceling All American and Good Cop, Bad Cop, which I don't even know what that was. I didn't watch it. FX is canceling The Bear. That surprises me because it has had all kinds of rave reviews.
Grr.
Axe is getting the axe after all of its praise.
I wonder if they
Mischief
plan
on
on doing all
NBC is
this.
gone.
I
Oh,
wonder
and
if they
then
plan on doing all
ABC.
this.
What?
What they plan on doing all this extra money that they're canceling all these shows? That's going to free up millions of dollars.
Or it's also going to free up a lot of time where they have to fill. So, but NBC Universal Syndication Studios have canceled Access Hollywood and Access Live, The Kelly Clarkson Show, Karamo, the Steve Wilkos Show.
The Kelly Clarkson show was really popular. I'm surprised that now the reason why she left, the reason why it's canceled because she said she wanted to leave and concentrate on her kids. So
Well, the Sherry Shepherd Show is also getting the axe. I saw that a few months back. Canceled on Netflix, The Abandons, The Empress, Outer Banks, Queer Eye, and The Vince Staples Show. So there's a lot. I mean, I could go on. All the Star Trek shows got canceled, and Starfleet Academy is one that is really making people mad that it got canceled after it has its second season because they really wanted that show back and they're not getting it. So the second season will be the final season for Star Trek Starfleet Academy. But like I said, you can go and find the article out there. But there's a lot getting canceled. And I mentioned Stephen Colbert is getting canceled because CBS claimed he was not making enough money on late night to justify keeping him for another season. So instead, they canceled him. But then CBS's parent company, Paramount, is paying over $1 billion to buy Warner Brothers when they don't have the money to pay for Stephen Colbert to stay on the air. Doesn't seem quite right. Well, Stephen Colbert is getting the last laugh because he is writing a new Lord of the Rings film.
was he one of the writers for it?
No,
Was for the
he is writing a new
okay.
one.
He
So I
must
don't
be a
know.
huge fan of the series then.
From what I understand, he is. I think it's him and his son writing it. And I was never a big Lord of the Rings fan, so I don't really have that much interest in it. But I figured some people out there might be interested in knowing that Stephen Colbert is going to write it. And Stephen Colbert is a very intelligent man, and a lot of the comedy is written
Um,
by him, so he knows what he's talking about. And if you ever watched him on The Daily Show, you know that he knows what he's talking about.
yeah, I watched way back in the day when they were popular. I watched the first what 2, 3 films there was, and haven't seen any of the rest of the films like The Hobbit and all that other stuff they come out with. And it wasn't that too long ago, sometime last year, I started thinking I need to rewatch that series. I couldn't make it past 30 minutes of that first film. I was bored to tears. And I don't understand because I love all that fantasy, all the magic, and I love all that. And I could not get past the first film for Lord of the Rings, even though years ago, like what in 2001 when it first came out. Am I right? 2001, 2002, somewhere through there when the first film came out. I was like
It was a
digging it,
long while
but
back.
watching it now, as I'm older in my 50s, I for some reason 30 minutes in it just killed me. I could not watch any more of it. I just got bored.
I tried watching the first one, and I did watch all of it at the theater. I went with a friend to see it that wanted to see the film, so we went together. He liked it. I was just bored the whole time. I could not get
And I
into it at all.
Okay, there for a minute. Did you notice that we had extra watchers just joined in for like a couple minutes, and all of a sudden, boom, they're gone. I was getting ready to give them a shout out for watching, and then
Well,
they like
it
bailed.
could
So,
be
oh, one's
it,
back. There we go.
it could be that they're watching and losing signal because I do lose signal at my house and it cuts off stuff that I'm watching on the computer. It doesn't on the TV, but it'll do it on the computer
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well,
Brian loves the
he's
original
Brian
Lord of the
chimed in
Rings
and says,
trilogy there.
yeah. So thank you to everyone that's watching right now. Speaking of, we can't not go by without even speaking about it. The actual trailer was dropped for the new Harry Potter series from HBO this past week, and it broke records. I'm reading
Not
the
as
story
many as
right
the
now.
Spider-Man Brand New Day did.
Do what?
Not as many as the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer did.
How much did it end up being watched?
I think the last tally, in the first 24 hours, 75 million views.
Well, in 48 hours, this got watched for 277 million views. So I think it went past Spider Man.
I don't know. Let me
That's
pull
been
up.
reported.
Well, I'm saying
That's been reported here.
Spider-Man was, when I saw it, was reported at 75 million views in the first 24 hours, and it was only going to grow from there. So I'm going to type
Yeah,
it in
so you
here.
can look it up. But according to this article I'm reading right now, 3 days ago, it was watched 277 million times in 48 hours.
Okay, so yeah, it definitely was bigger than what I saw. This is the AI overview on Google. The trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day became the most watched trailer in history, reaching 1.1 billion views within 4 days of its release. It hit
Hmm.
718.6 million views in its first 24 hours, shattering the previous 24-hour record held by Deadpool and Wolverine, 365 million.
So the Spider Man, I did watch the Spider Man one, and it looked. eh, I know it's going to be good, and I'm going to watch it, but it just did not have the excitement I wished it was going to have for me. It just, I don't know. I just
Well,
feel like it was more lackluster.
you and I were very
I
different
think it's
on that.
well, no. Anyways, Brian chimed in. He said the new Harry Potter on HBO Max looks fantastic. Yeah, it does look fantastic, and I can't wait. Christmas Day cannot get here fast enough.
Well, let's talk about the new Harry Potter though real quick, because people are just irate online over the casting of Snape. And
Oh
I
God,
want
the
to remind
rest.
everyone it's a fictional character that is not defined by race. And people were telling me
And
online, "Oh, but he's described as pale." Black people can be pale too.
yeah, he's described as pale and dark. So
And and you know, you should be worried about the performance. Will the performance be good? You can judge him on his performance all you want. The skin tone has absolutely no bearing. And then they're like, "Oh, but when he gets hung upside down in a tree, it'll be racist." It depends on how they write it in the story. You can write that, like, if they could hang a white person in a tree and it not be racist, can't they do the same with a black person? It's all in writing.
see, I can't wait for this series to come out because they're going page by page by the book, page by page. They're going through every detail of the books, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait. So
Well, Paul, as you know, I will not be watching it because until J.K. Rowling stops being a hateful witch, and that's putting it nicely, I just will not do anything to support her.
she owns the rights to the name Harry Potter, but not the Wizarding World. Wizarding World is controlled by Warner Brothers.
But she still gets paid because they're using the characters. So anything Harry Potter, she's still making money off of, and she will not get my dollars. Y'all can do what you want, but as long as she's a hateful witch like she is, she ain't getting any money from me.
Okay, Chris. So
But as for the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, I wasn't planning to see it in the theaters, and then I watched the trailer and I'm like, well, there's 4 movies that I'll be seeing in the theater this year, because we went and saw Scream 7. I'll be going to Masters of the Universe. I'll be going to Supergirl, and now I'll be going to Spider-Man Brand New Day.
when is it set to come out?
Masters is like June 4th. I think Supergirl is June 23rd, and then Spider-Man is in July, but I can't remember the date.
June 23rd.
Yeah, the Witch's Sabbath.
My birthday.
Yeah. And just a reminder to all our viewers out there, Paul was born on a Witch's Sabbath, which is why he loves Harry Potter so much. It's his people.
Expelliarmus. Where's my wand? I'm gonna put cast a spell on you right quick. Where's it
Well,
at?
while he's trying to put a spell on
Right
me,
through the screen.
I put a spell on you. But
I
I
got a
saw
spell on
something
you. Now you're mine.
but I saw
What?
something online the other day about Blockbuster TV, and I thought it was Blockbuster Video. No, it's a channel on Roku, and I've got the Roku channel store pulled up. It's called My Blockbuster TV. Separated word
My
Blockbuster. And the
Buster.
description
Okay.
on here says the fastest growing independent urban channel with music videos, commentary, news, sports, and the latest in local and international black colleges. We have original programming from all over the world. Compare us to Apple TV, Netflix, Tubi, Paramount, Hulu, and others. The only difference is the cost. We are a free streaming network. So if you're looking for something for entertainment, my Blockbuster TV might be something you want to watch. And again, you do not have to be black to watch a channel dedicated to black people, just like you don't have to be white to watch something dedicated to white people. You can expand your horizons and enjoy multiple things.
I refuse to.
You probably do. You're probably mad that Snape is black. You racist heathen.
No, in fact, I'm excited about it. Whenever I saw his character and how he's interacted, it's like that brief second. I'm like, ooh, he looks cold. He looks like he's going to go, oh. So, yeah, I'm open
But
to all of it. So,
but did you have anything else you want to discuss before we get to the reviews?
no, no, not that I know of. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I do want to talk about this. As of today, 5 hours ago, Celine Dion, I know you hate her. Celine Dion, she went into retirement because of stiff person syndrome. Then 2 years ago for the Paris Olympics, she she belted out that beautiful French song that she sang, and she is on top of the game. She's like watched by billions of people around the world. So she's actually announced Celine Dion confirms Paris concert and dates with the Eiffel Tower birthday announcement. She's going to have 10 shows in Paris coming up starting in September. Those damn things are going to sell out like that because people is just seething to see that woman live again. I can't wait. And I'm going to see how much the tickets are, and I'll figure out how to get there. I mean, I'm thinking about honestly get me a ticket and going to Paris to see her.
Uh,
I mean, how
I
often you get
won't
to
be
see
going.
Celine Dion?
And one thing I will say in her favor is she's French Canadian. So singing in Paris, she can sing to the people of Paris in French
Mhm.
because she has had French albums. So she does have that going for her, and it makes sense to do it in Paris where she can get a lot of people because not just Parisians that live there, but people from all over the world that go to Paris. And people like me, I planned a trip to New York City around the Madonna concert, and people will plan a trip to Paris around the Celine Dion concert because she will have fans. But I won't be going, to say the least.
One thing that's really not a lot of people knows this about her. This is how big of a perfectionist she is. When they approached her to sing the Titanic song "My Heart Will Go On," she refused to do it. But when she heard the actual music for it, she started practicing for it. And so when it came to time to record it, she sang it so flawlessly one time all the way through. It was the first take. She didn't have to retake anything. No retakes, no go back and re-record this. She performed it flawlessly all the way through to the very end. And that was the only time she ever sang it. And it was straight to album. Her first time singing it. That's what kind of perfectionist she is. Not a lot of people knows that, but she is remarkable.
Yeah, I just still like the supernatural alternate universe where she became a lounge singer because the Titanic never sank because she didn't get that song.
The loud singer. You're stupid.
You remember that?
I'm actually I started rewatching the Titanic. the supernatural series because I found it on Prime. No, Prime. Yeah, it's on Prime. By the way, on the movie you wanted me to watch on Netflix, what was it? I Know What You Did Last
I know what
Summer.
you did last summer.
It's not available to me. I have them with ads, and with the people with ads, it's not available to watch that movie.
Well, that's some crap, isn't it?
I went to watch it and it says not available to the people with ads subscription. And I thought, well, I guess I'll just have to sit this one out.
Well, did
You
you
can look
get
it
to
up
see
yourself.
Wicked for Good?
I haven't seen it. No,
Well, then I'll be
no.
reviewing everything, and Paul will just sit there listening.
I will commentate. I'll be like, bitch.
Well,
I ain't even
first
seen
up,
the first Wicked. What are you talking about? I ain't even seen
how have you
Wicked.
not seen the first Wicked?
I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea. I know it's. I saw Wicked twice on the Broadway production. I've seen it twice, and I'm like, why do I need to see the film? But
Well, as we're recording, Wicked for Good on Rotten Tomatoes, as it's slowly coming up. Give it time. My computer is slow, 66% on the tomato meter, 92% on the popcorn meter. So the critics are not enjoying it as much as the fans are. On Letterboxd, and again, it's taking its time, it has a 3.4 out of 5 rating. Letterboxd is, of course, people sign in to the website and put their reviews in, and from what I understand, it's a social app that you can converse with other movie lovers. I had a friend who worked with me that was on there all the time, and he wanted me to get on there, and I never did, and I still haven't. But anyway, that's Letterboxd for you. But I will say I enjoyed the first Wicked. I really enjoyed the second one, Wicked for Good. To me, the second one, and I think this is part of the problem for people, it feels like the second act of the stage version. Like it really does. It starts out with the musical number right at the beginning. And if you watch the first Wicked, you start to dislike Glenda. And as you're watching the second one, you're still disliking her. You think, wow, they're really making Glenda a terrible person. But she redeems herself by the end of the film.
you need to see the films, Paul. I don't know about that.
You do need
That's what
to.
Brian said.
Did you like Wizard of
I'm
Oz?
just pulled up on the B. I just pulled up on the BBC right here. Hollywood fell out of love with Wicked from the BBC, and this is what it says. In today's Oscar nominations, the biggest shock was the massive musical sequel, Wicked for Good, starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, earned zero nods despite its predecessor earning 10. It proved the perils of overstretching your material. So they didn't even get no noms for it.
Well, they couldn't have
No
done it in
nods.
one film though, because it
So
where you can do it on stage in 4 hours, you can't do it in a film and be successful in 4 hours. Because on stage they have the first act, intermission, and then the second act.
oh yeah.
So, but they Wicked for Good actually gives an origin for the Tin Man. It gives an origin for the Scarecrow. It tells you about the Cowardly Lion. It shows how the winged monkeys become the Wicked Witch's people or monkeys, and why they go to her side. I mean, it's the story is really good, and like I said, they end up you're hating Glenda so much in this, and by the end, she gets redeemed. They give the reason for the house falling on her sister. Like it's all in there. This one really relates to Wizard of Oz more than the first one did.
Well, right here's another article from DC Theater Arts from Washington, D.C., the Arts District. Why the sequel movie Wicked for Good kind of stinks. So, I don't know.
Mm, I
But it
liked it.
doesn't look like they're liking too much online. I think a lot of people didn't enjoy the For Good as much because the second half of the musical is much darker in tone than its first half. That's what Brian said.
Yeah, that's his comment there. And I guess I like the
Oh,
darker tone,
Jesus Christ.
but I really
here's
enjoyed the second one more than the first one.
here's some kind of Christian organization chiming in saying Premier Christian Magazine. Why, as a Christian, I'm conflicted about Wicked for Good. Oh, shut your mouth. No one wants to hear
The
what you
same
say,
reason they were
anyways.
conflicted about Harry Potter.
Exactly. And here's the New Yorker. The Wicked for Good is very, very bad. Uh, oh, Wicked for Good arrives with a message on fighting fascism. That's on MS now. So I'll watch it if I can watch it. I mean, I'll go on
Well,
there, and if it says not available to you because you have ads, I'll be like, I don't want you anyways. So I'll do. I mean,
they're
I'll key
both
it
on
in.
Peacock.
We'll see what happens. Do what?
They're both on Peacock, and on Peacock they don't block you from watching something when you have the ads version because that's what I have, and
I
it plays the ads at the beginning of the movie, and then it plays the movie straight through with no interruption.
I don't have Peacock.
Well, we can talk after, but anyway, that's what their take on Wicked for Good was. The critics are mixed on it, but 66% on Rotten Tomatoes is still a fresh score. It's not a rotten score, so they're and that's out of 351 reviews, and the 92% from the fans is on 10,000 plus reviews. So,
Yeah, I think we've talked enough about Wicked.
and I have to pull up I Know What You Did Last Summer, but I will say I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you watch the 2025 I Know What You Did Last Summer, you have to watch the credits. Absolutely have to watch the credits.
here's a here's a review. I wish I didn't know what you did last summer. I've just pulled it up and there's a very first review on it. I wish I didn't know what you did last summer.
Well, you've seen the original, right, Paul?
Dude, I've seen the original with Jennifer Love Hewitt. Of course I have.
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting
What
for?
are you waiting for? Of course, on Scary Movie, if you remember that part. But I loved that BMW in that film. I wanted his BMW. It kept charging at him. I wanted that BMW. God, that's my favorite model of BMW that's in that film, the original.
Well, there were some returns, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Of course, you know the two.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt were back. They also found a way to bring back Sarah Michelle Gellar. I will not go into it, but she is listed in the cast credits at the very beginning of the movie, so you know she's in it. They had newspaper clippings and such from the original story from the first film. Is it Scream quality? No, but it's not a bad film. Like, it is much better than I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, and it is much better than the TV show I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I forgot there's a damn TV show.
Yeah,
Here's Chris. I liked it too, Chris. That's what Brian said.
yeah, that
Here's
was
a
the
review. Says
Wicked for Good is what Brian was talking about there when he said that.
here's here's another review for it. I know what you did last summer. Review a pathetic, carefree slasher with a dull, rusty hook.
Well, the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes, 36% after 213 reviews, over 1,000 verified ratings on the popcorn meter, 67%. On Letterboxd, with 277 fans rating, 2.4 out of 5. So
Here's
definitely
another.
not the rave reviews it should have gotten. And it's not the film the first one was, but it is a good watch, like at least once. And like I said, you gotta watch the credits.
Oh, here it is. People Magazine. Watch Sarah Michelle Gellar's top secret cameo in the new I Know What You Did Last Summer exclusive. So she must make a cameo of some sort.
Yeah, I told you they found a way to bring her back to it.
Yeah.
So
So, well, I'll now where'd now that was on Netflix because I couldn't watch it because I was blocked from it with the ads. So I'll have to figure out a way to watch that somehow
Brian, did you
because
get
I
to
love a
watch
good.
I Know What You Did Last Summer while you were out there watching?
I know. There, I would love to see it because I love a good slasher flick. I mean, hello, the best follow up to Friday the 13th was that YouTube video me and Chris watched.
Why do you have to go back there? It was for the people who don't know what Paul is talking about. Paul found this absolutely horrible, horrible Friday the 13th fan film on YouTube, which starred a porn star in it who used the name
Yeah.
Diana Prince. I can never forgive Paul for that.
Hey, if I'm not mistaken, I think it had a $30,000 budget and they used every damn penny.
Are you sure? Are you sure they didn't have 29,000 left over?
I think. Hey, you gotta admit that one part where the guts fell out of that guy, it looked real,
I
and
don't even
even you
remember,
said it
Paul.
looked good.
All I remember about that
You,
terrible thing was them sitting around the campfire.
oh,
Everything else went out of
you,
my mind.
you said, and I quote, that the special effects of this film actually were kind of good because it looked like real guts coming out of him. I don't understand how they did that, but it did look real. If
But
you want to
Brian
watch
said he
that
did
film,
not.
just Google.
Brian said he did not get a chance to watch I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025, but he did get a screener for it.
Oh
Brian, go
God.
ahead and watch it. Give it a shot. Let us know what you think. Because, I mean, it's like 2 hours and it's just mindless entertainment, basically. It's not terrible. It's not great. That's where I would put that one.
Are you talking about the Friday the 13th
No,
film? Or are
I'm
you talking
talking
about
about
I know
I Know
what you
What You
did?
Did Last Summer.
Oh, okay. Just to make sure we're on the same page.
We're never on the same page with you, Paul. Your mind's like 15,000 different places
Wow.
and never where it should be. Always in the gutter.
I didn't think about the gutter. Are you serious? What's the Friday the 13th got to think about the gutter?
Well, there is a
Ah.
porn star in it who stole
Well,
the name Diana Prince, and I could never forgive her for that.
I didn't know that there's a porn star in it until I
We
started
talked about
watching
that
it.
when we reviewed it. She was a porn
I
star who
know,
was in
but
it named Diana Prince,
I
stealing her name
didn't
from Wonder
know
Woman.
she was in it until we started watching it, and then I found out.
Sure. Sure, you didn't, Paul. You just love them big boobies.
There now, what I can understand, there's actually a really good fan. How am I saying this? Fan filmed follow up to, or is it a prequel to? I think it's a prequel to Halloween. That's on YouTube, and it's like almost 2 hours long. And what I can understand, it's a really good one. I plan on watching it. So, do you like the Halloween films?
I do, but after you made me watch that Halloween crap, I just don't know if I could ever take your word to watch another fan film again.
Are you talking about the? Are you talking about the latest ones with what you color in them? Scream Queen, the last three with Jamie Lee Curtis. She's in the last three.
Are those the ones
Halloween,
you're talking about, or are you
Halloween.
talking about fan films?
I'm talking about see. There's Halloween, then Halloween ends, and then no, it's Halloween. Then what was it? Anyway, there's three Halloween films, and then anyway, those three were really good. One of them was actually filmed in Charleston, South Carolina. The first one was filmed in Charleston, South Carolina, because I recognized it. I thought, ooh, I know where that's at. They filmed it at the Citadel, so as the prison, but it was the Citadel, where where the military college is located in Charleston. I recognized that in a heartbeat.
I
But
know one thing that bothered me with the Halloween movies that they brought back was the um where in Halloween H2O she had a son, and then when they brought back Jamie Lee Curtis, all of a sudden she has a daughter. Like
well, they could have been
if you couldn't
trans.
get Josh Hartnett back, at least keep the son. But I didn't understand that.
Could have been trans. You don't know that.
No, she had a child. She was not trans.
I know. Maybe the child was adopted. You know,
Anyway, they screwed that whole storyline up.
I enjoyed the Halloween films, every one of them. Even the weird one, Halloween 3, called Season of the Witch. Yeah, that was a weird one because it didn't even have Michael Myers and nobody like that in it. But it was really, I enjoyed all of them because that's a quirky little film. But, anyways,
Uh, I was not a fan of H Halloween 3, and there's a reason why it didn't do well. Like, and Michael Myers was in it, but he was on the TV because they were going to show the Halloween movie.
yeah.
But yeah, it was not a good one. And I rewatched it a few years back just to see if it was as bad as I remembered. It was.
Just to remind yourself.
Yep.
So,
Because
alrighty.
sometimes you change your mind over the years and things become different. Sometimes you like it better, sometimes you like it worse. It stayed the same. It was still just as bad.
So,
But
speaking of films, don't forget coming up in April is the new Michael film. I cannot wait for that.
yeah, that's when I'll be
And
waiting for streaming.
and the popcorn bucket I've seen is going to be a fedora signed with the Michael signature on the side of it. I will be getting one of those somehow, some way. I will get one. Oh yeah.
I wanted one of the new Scream popcorn buckets, but I didn't get it. There was one where the figure was down inside and you could it had like a light on top. But
Mm-hmm. I've seen that. Yeah, you can get them on eBay for like $70. I ain't paying
well,
that
it's
much for
not much
that.
more than they were initially, so that's kind of surprising that they're only $70.
Insane. So, all right. Anything else we're talking about?
I've got to discuss the new comic came out last week. Marvel and DC have crossed over yet again. Superman and Spider Man, two of the biggest names from each company, and I'll show you the title page here, even though it's backwards. It's written by Mark Wade. Colorist is Mel Mori. The artist is Jorge Jimenez, who is a really good artist. They did a DC Daily back when it was on the DC Universe app. Actually, did a profile on Jorge Jimenez, which was really good. So if you can find it on YouTube, you should check that out. And then the letters are by Tom Napolitano. And in the story, Peter Parker has come to New or yeah, they're in Metropolis. Peter Parker and Clark Kent are together. Of course, Peter Parker is a Daily Bugle photographer, and Clark Kent is a Daily Planet reporter. They're working together on the story, and there's even Clark talks to Peter about how he's giving his photos of Spider-Man to a publisher who keeps declaring Spider-Man a menace, and Peter explains that in here. But they are teamed up against Doc Ock, who appears in the very first column, and Brainiac. So it's a Spider-Man and Superman against Brainiac and Doctor Octopus story. I really enjoyed it. Like
Really?
I said, that's the only one that I've gotten to so far. This is the follow-up to the Batman Deadpool comic they did last year, and that one was really good. Every story I enjoyed in that one. But you can also see this is the other page of it, the other team ups they have. And this last one, Power Girl here teaming up with the Punisher. That is written by Gail Simone, who, if you do not follow Gail Simone on any of the socials, you need to follow Gail Simone on the socials. She is hilarious. She is caring. She is kind, and she makes some fun posts. Like she will intentionally troll people. Like there was one, I can't remember how she said it exactly, but this is the typical Gail Simone post when she's not talking politics and her mind's in the right place for the politics. We'll just put it that. But she was talking about one of them where it's hard to believe that Spider-Man hasn't had a animated series since the 60s just to stir up a reaction because everybody knows
Of course.
Spider-Man's had many animated series since the 60s. Many animated series. But that's what she does. And she is currently writing for the X-Men at Marvel Comics. So she has written, I believe she is the one who created the Birds of Prey at DC. She wrote for Wonder Woman at one point in time. She's done a lot of really good writing. So again, if you get the chance, follow Gail Simone on any of the socials. She's on Thread. She's on uh, Blue Sky. She's on Facebook. She's worth following, and she'll tell serious stories too that are really good to read. But the other team ups in this, Lois Lane and Mary Jane, super. I can't. The way it's written, I can't read it. I got to put on my old man spectacles here. Superboy Prime and the Amazing Spider-Man, Superboy and Spider-Man 2099, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen and Carnage, Jonathan Kent and Ben Parker, Daily Planet and Daily Bugle, and Power Girl and the Punisher are the stories in this comic. So, yes, it is definitely worth it. And for those wanting, there's the information with the price and everything if you need the UPC. But it is out now. Superman and Spider Man comic crossover. And it's very much worth it. I don't know if you get digital, I don't know if you get print, but definitely pick it up. So, and that's all I've got. Do you have anything else? Oh, I do have a passing that I want to mention. So, is there any other news you want to talk about, Paul?
No, I think I've talked about all I want to talk about.
Well, I've talked about this show multiple times, so that's why I want to bring it up. But this, it's been reported all over. Animator Barry Caldwell passed away at the age of 68. And for those of you who don't know Barry Caldwell, you may not know the name, but you know the work. He was the animator for the Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain.
Animaniacs. What happened? Does it say what happened?
Let me scroll through and see. I can't remember if it said, but on my there, it was all blurry, and now there's a get deadlines breaking news. The graphic artist's longtime friend and colleague, animator Paul Dini, shared a heartfelt statement about the quote, funny, kind, a genial giant of a guy that you liked from the moment you met him after Dan Haskett informed him of Caldwell's death. And of course, this is from Deadline. and I'm still trying to see if there's a cause here, but it also said that he had worked as animator for Osmosis Jones. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. I did not.
Oh,
It says born June 19th, 1957 in New York City, Caldwell trained at the School of Visual Arts. He worked for Warner Brothers Animation, Walt Disney Television Studios, and DreamWorks during his storied career, which began with an episode of Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids in 1980. Throughout the 80s, Caldwell was a regular storyboard artist on The New Adventures of Zorro, The Tom and Jerry Comedy Show, He Man and the Masters of the Universe, The Smurfs, and Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Was also known for his work on Tiny Toon Adventures, Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, The Tigger Movie, Osmosis Jones, Kim Possible, and DreamWorks Dragons. I am not seeing a cause of death listed though.
might be private. So
But I will say, if you've never watched the Animaniacs, you are absolutely missing out. It is a fantastic animated series. It is so funny. It is written for children to watch, but adults to enjoy. There are jokes that go flying over the heads of the kids, but they love the wackiness of the characters. And then the adults in the crowd will get the jokes and understand the humor in the show. So
of
it's a
course.
it is a one of a kind thing that I don't know what magic came together to create Animaniacs and all the shows within, but it is an amazing series that is definitely worth watching. And for those who have not seen it, good news, you can watch Animaniacs free with ads on Tubi. Pinky and the Brain is free with ads on Tubi.
Cool.
So, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe available in a lot of places free with ads. So definitely give it a try. Mm, But that was a regular staple of mine in the 90s was Animaniacs.
Yeah, I
It
used
was
to watch it after school.
it wasn't after school, Paul. I was out of school when it came on.
There was something I watched after school. What was it? It was no, was it? No, I'd get home from work or something, and something would
It
be
was
on. It
afternoons
was
on weekdays, but
it's afternoons. I think it's whenever I get home from Hardee's. That's when it was.
it was it
It
was on Fox
was.
Kids weekday afternoons back in the
It might
90s.
have.
But
It might have been that. I think it was Tiny
but
Toon Adventures. That's what it was.
but you can
Tiny
remember
Toon
that
Adventures.
yeah, Tiny Toon was around. I think it was before because that was another Steven Spielberg show. Steven Spielberg did Tiny Toon. Steven Spielberg did Animaniacs, and then they did Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain at one point, which I never did watch, and I didn't even know about until just recently. But Animaniacs was
Okay.
fantastic. So for those who haven't seen it, watch it. You will enjoy it. You will laugh. You will find it crazy. And Wacko is still my favorite of them. Of the three, Wacko is my favorite.
Okay.
Hello, nurse. But the proof of the fact that it was on in the 90s is the theme song when they say while Bill Clinton plays the sax. Because
Yeah.
that was after Bill Clinton got elected, but he was on, I think, before he got elected playing the sax on Arsenio. I can't remember the exact timing on that, but that would have still been 1992. So, but but yeah, I did want to mention Barry Caldwell because I loved Animaniacs. There's just no two ways about it. I love the show. So, and with that, I believe we have come to the end. Any final words, Paul?
All righty. I have nothing.
So, those of you like us who have the allergy issues, make sure you're taking your allergy pills. Make sure you're, if you need to, wear a mask outside because, like at work, when we take the people out, I am in a mask because we're sitting outside. I'm not playing. I'm trying my best to not have allergy attacks.
Mhm. I hear you.
But so until next time, I don't know what we'll be reviewing next time. Hopefully, Paul will be able to join in on the review next time. But that evil
Hopefully
Netflix,
something I can watch.
Netflix is one of these.
Yeah, right.
But until next time, thank you all for watching again. Thank you to all of our subscribers that have watched us and stuck with us and continue to subscribe and share the channel. I appreciate you so much. Remember, if you enjoyed the show, hit that like. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do. Share it, get people to watch us. We would greatly appreciate even more viewers. So until next time, goodbye, everybody.
Ciao, Bella.